Welcome to the third of our virtual coffees, attempting some imaginary back and forth as we try to make sense of all that's happened in 2020. Many people feel isolated at the moment. Surveys say that 1 in 20 of us have started praying for the first time. But perhaps as we do so, we assume that God is distant. We wonder if he cares. I'd love to give us one snapshot of Jesus, just to get a sense of what he's like. A man called Mark wrote an eyewitness biography. You can find it in the Bible. And he tells in it of a man who met Jesus. He knew what it was like to be isolated because he had leprosy, a contagious skin disease that put him outside of his family and the community. Social distancing of the most severe kind. He even had to ring a bell saying, "Unclean, unclean." And this man came and he knelt before Jesus. And we're told that Jesus, moved with pity, reached out his hand and touched him, like an NHS doctor or nurse with no protective clothing. And what's surprising is the infection doesn't come to Jesus. In fact, healing goes the other way. Jesus gives the man a good infection of cleanness. Now, what do you make of this? If it didn't happen, why did people write these sorts of things at the cost of their own life? And if it did happen, who is this? Now, maybe you say to me, that's interesting, but so what for today? Well, the Bible says that this is a trailer of the feature-length film of what Jesus will do one day. He claims that he'll bring in a new world with no sickness, no viruses, no death, no tears. Now, if you're like me, you're asking, well, why doesn't he do that now? And we'll come to that in a future coffee. At the end of Mark's account, the man's isolation is over, but Jesus has to move to a distance outside of the town. It's just a little picture of how he will bring that new world in. It will be at his cost, at the cost of his death on the cross. There on the cross, Jesus would be utterly isolated, outside, distanced from God, so that we could come close. Can you start to see how attractive Jesus is? We haven't got time to look at all of the evidence, how he claimed that he was God on earth, how eyewitnesses said he backed that up by calming storms and raising the dead. And as we wrap up our coffee, I guess that's the question. Who do you think Jesus is? He shows control even over this broken world, but he carries his power with tender humility. He's strong and he's kind. Some haven't looked at the evidence for Jesus as an adult, but isn't he worth another look? Many are finding this guided read-through a help. You can do it online. Next time, we'll wonder why the world is as it is and how it all went wrong.